When it comes to credit, a lot of us are struggling to get out of the red and into the black. Some business owners are using business credit to get out of personal debt, which experts say is not the best idea. So, how dangerous is this option for most people? Here to talk to us about it is Amanda Webster. She is the COO of Fund and Grow. Amanda, welcome to Daily Flash.
Thank you for having me.
So, what's the first thing someone should know when trying to get business credit?
So, the first thing you should really understand is business credit should absolutely be for business. You don't want to mix things. You absolutely want to make sure your business and personal are completely separate. If you do it properly, you can shield your personal assets from your business debts. Also, you have to be very careful in understanding that even when separating it, you can find there are ways that sneak in and affect your personal credit, even if you think it's on the business side. But using business credit is very different, but it does require actively managing your finances, such as paying those bills on time, establishing vendor trade lines as well with the other different vendors, but also aggressively using it within the means.
One key factor about business credit that we understand is that when properly established, it can actually help shield personal assets from business debts, as you mentioned. Um, Talk about separating the two and why that's so important, especially if you're finding that you're kind of personally in the weeds.
So a lot of people they get in those weeds because they're using their personal for their business. But also you have to be very careful that you're not putting personal things on your business because that can get those lines shut down. So it's super important to separate it, but also having the knowledge of what different lenders report where and how they report. So as an example, Capital One reports to both. So you have to be very careful when looking at those two pieces and making sure that you're actually separating it properly and building them both properly within the means because they are very different when you're looking at the way that business credit and personal credit is scored.
What's a misconception I think that most people have when it comes to using business credit?
I think the biggest misconception is that they can't use it for this, for that. They can't, use it in a certain industry or they don't understand the proper way to leverage it. So making sure you're understanding how to use it and which ways are the correct ones, even if it takes an extra step. Sometimes you need to have an extra step to be able to pull money out to pay different people on the business credit side. We work on teaching our clients that because there are ways that can be done incorrectly and again get hit with really high fees, can get cards shut down for not using them properly. So it's super important to know how to use it, and there's a huge misconception that you can just use it the same as personal, and they're very different rules.
Yeah, and I think really the point we're trying to make here. How does establishing a strong business credit profile impact an individual's credit score?
If it's done properly, it's going to increase that score because you're hopefully pulling anything off of your personal that was actually made for your business. But at the same time, you can easily hurt your personal side just by using your credit, right? If you use your credit on the personal side, depending on how much that utilization is, you can be detrimentally hurting that credit. Whereas in the business side, you need to be aggressive in order to do it, but of course within your means. So you have to be able to establish it strong and correct. And if it's done that way, it will actually make your personal credit better.
Amanda, some great information. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Daily Flash. For more information on how to earn and use business credit, go to fundsandgrow.com. Amanda, thanks again for joining us. You can also go to our website, dailyflashshow.com, to see all of this interview and also to find out more information.